Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, everybody. Episode 190 of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who is a 10-year-old kid running away from home fighting animals with their mom's permission with me tonight.
So I clapped because you counted down, and I always clap to mark the spot on the thing.
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
I ruined your intro.
That's
okay. This is Kendall of KendallCast.Ninja and the KendallCast podcast network, whatnot.
And who else is with me?
The Kanto to your Johto, Karuseta, Kerry Chandler. Karuseta on Twitch, KEROOSCTA.
See, I also never record this late. I completely forgot to even say my normal stuff. Like, oh, this is the order, and this is my third beer, so I'm going to play.
That's fine. We figured it out.
We got
it. We got it.
So we are here to talk about a game that I, for some reason, never played as a kid, even though I just skipped it, never played in my life. But Pokemon Crystal for Game Boy
this
Color.
Came out when I was in college, so that would explain why I didn't play it as a kid. But it came out 2001. I was born in 87. I was too cool for Crystal. I did play Silver, but then I was too cool for this.
Played Silver, but you were ashamed of it.
I think so, yes.
Yep.
I think I know. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Yeah. I was ashamed that I never played Crystal, but I've been meaning to play Crystal for like over 10 years. I would download the ROM, like I'm going to play it. And I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't get very far.
Let's see. So I bought with my first paycheck from my first job at Target in the year 1999. I bought a Game Boy Color and Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue and Strategy Guide. That was my first paycheck, went to those things. But then I did not touch another Pokemon game after Red and Blue until I was like married, and in 2008. And then I went back and played Pokemon Sapphire on the GBA.
Oh, okay, that's a good game.
And then again, I just kind of didn't touch again until X and Y or Black and White, and then didn't touch X and Y, and then Sun and Moon. Now I think of myself as I've always saw myself as a Pokemon fan, but I dip out of it for generations at a time, and then kind of dip back in, like, all right, well, what's new now? What's going on now? But I've been going back and replaying them. I've purchased one of each generation now, and I've been going back and playing them. So I was glad you did this, because I played most of Crystal a couple of years ago, but hadn't finished it, and so this gave me the incentive to actually play through and finish the game.
I'm glad I was able to do that, because this is one of those games that I feel like you should play. What about you, Kendall?
So here's the story. Okay, so there's no lovely ladies in this story. except for my character in my playthrough of Crystal, whose name is Lucy, but after my cat. But I am a huge Pokemon fan. I have a Pokemon calendar on my desk, just ripped off today. Today's Pokemon of the day is Rookidee.
No idea who that is.
I don't know who that is.
Little bird.
That's all we got.
Eventually evolves into Corviknight.
Oh yeah, Corviknight's fun.
That's a later gen.
Anyway, so yeah, I was about 12 when 99 Pokemon comes out, and I was a little reluctant because I've always been a contrarian, but eventually got sucked in, played the cards for a little while, really, really loved. I taped the anime and watched episodes and episodes, got very engaged in the Pikachu's goodbye and everything. Definitely cried at Pikachu's goodbye. But for me, it really was like the games are the thing. And, played through Red version, got to 143 Pokemon in the Pokedex and decided to restart and do another playthrough. So I've never actually completed a Pokedex in my life.
Never.
Played through.
It was hard.
Played through Yellow version and got a whole team of level 100s that I like fairly, because there's no cheating in Yellow version. So, got them fairly all
missing now.
100. Pikachu. It was the perfect team. Pikachu, Blastoise, Charizard, Venusaur, Mewtwo, Zapdos.
Wow.
And Articuno or something. That's too many Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the starters and the legendaries minus Moltres, because nobody likes Moltres.
I don't like Moltres either.
Well, Moltres is fine, but not when you have Charizard.
No, you don't need Moltres.
No, he's never good. He's always bad.
He's always the bird I hate the most. Too.
Even if you're, I would use Pidgey before I'd use Moltres. But so you got, because I rarely would have Charizard. No, the Zapdos and Articuno are awesome. Moltres sucks. He's literally the redheaded stepchild.
He's also not in this game.
So. Well, look, it's Pokemon. You got to talk about it all.
I know.
So so Gen 2 comes out. About a year or two later, or whatever. I get silver version for my birthday, with birthday money or whatever, and playing it on the bus, but not letting anybody see it. And you got your one friend that's like, yeah, we can do the mystery gift every day, but don't let people see us playing in the games. We can't talk about it in public. And then Crystal came out, and I was like, I think I'm done with Pokemon, but it always stuck with me. I was running track. I was the worst person on the track team. Besides I was in 8th grade at that point, and this 7th grader was even worse than me. But I just remember him just giving a passionate defense of Pokemon Crystal version.
Okay, I was wondering where this was going.
Yeah, this is the.
No, I mean, I think it's legit. I mean, you definitely Crystal is an improvement on Gold and Silver in most ways. There's only one thing that I think is better in the originals, but we'll get there. It
has the, I think, I don't know. It's really hard to say because every generation has its pros and its cons, but there's something I think, because I think Gen 3 is a step backwards in a lot of ways.
Oh, big time. Yeah. Gen 3 is one of my least favorite.
And then Gen 4, Gen 4 is a step that's too far forward. It's getting closer to a modern, it feels much more modern. I really like
the underground and all that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just the visual style. A lot of it for me is the visual style. I like, my favorite sprites are the ugly sprites from Red and Blue.
Oh, same.
I like those too, actually.
Yeah,
but
I like the
there
Red and
still
Blue
was.
Also.
I think what it was at least in the first 2 generations, you could still pretend like these Pokemon. Some of them were not just about being cute. Sometimes it was about actually that's cool.
What do you mean? Gloom is adorable.
And well,
I'm kidding. I get what you mean.
I mean, Gloom is adorable. and also, I am a Pokemon fan. Eventually, when I got back into it as an adult, and I realized that, first of all, the cutesiness is an appeal of anime in general. Anime is not all about being the most hardcore everything.
Yeah, when you're a teenager, though, you want that, you want the Shonen Jump kind of anime more than the Kiki's Delivery Service, so to speak.
Right.
You get to be an adult and you appreciate the Kiki more than the DBZ.
And even DBZ, you appreciate the camp of it. You appreciate the, some of the cutesy characters in DBZ.
The stuff you thought was lame when you were a kid.
Some of the silliness.
Yeah.
I think you get to a point in your adulthood where you can enjoy things on different levels. So,
totally.
So Pokemon Crystal version is a great JRPG. It's a great, I don't know if you there's a puzzle strategic element with the move types.
Yeah.
I love its sequely storiness, building a larger world. It just triggers your imagination. It's just, it's amazing stuff. And
I'll say, I think it's probably my 3rd favorite Pokemon is probably the Gen 2. I mean, I think if I had it to do over again, I would rather have played Heart Gold, Soul Silver than Crystal necessarily. But
there's a reason for that.
Yeah, because but I mean, I think that in terms of if we're just looking at gens, my favorite is always going to be Gen 1. But taking away the nostalgia of it, my favorite and not counting spinoffs, and I think of Arceus as a spinoff. I don't think it really counts. Then honestly, Sword and Shield is my favorite Pokemon, because it's got all the modern conveniences, but then it still has the fun formula of Pokemon. But not taking away the nostalgia, I still really, Red and Blue is the one that I go back and replay a lot. And Red and Blue is the only place where Yellow is the only one where I've completed the Pokédex. And which I say that, sorry, I did it in the easiest possible one. This is kind of a cheat. I did it in Let's Go Pikachu. Let's Go Pikachu, which is a modern remake of Pokemon Yellow. That is, if you want to talk about the game, if you're trying to like be able to say I completed the Pokedex, that's the easiest one. And I did it, and it wasn't that hard. It took a little bit of doing, but it's doable. Yeah, I mean, the thing is going back and playing this, you realize there's a lot of stuff that you maybe take for granted isn't in these games anymore. A lot of bullshit. There's some real bullshit. Like HMs are just terrible. It's
Wrong.
Just, it is absolutely no, it's garbage. Like seriously, going to go fight Red at the end, and I realize I don't have a Pokemon over level 30 that knows Flash. And so I'm like, all right, so am I going to take one of my legendaries and make it learn Flash? Or am I going to sit there and like grind and level my level 36 Togetic to level 50 something so I can handle Red? And that's what I did. I got my Togetic to level 56.
You need Flash to fight Red?
You need Flash to get to him unless, I mean, the cave you have to go through is be pretty complicated to do.
I've never taught Flash a Pokemon. I always go through the caves without Flash.
The cave he's talking very game.
It's the one at the end of the game, Mount Silver.
Yeah, Mount Silver.
I mean, yeah. I guess you could sit there and like no, you couldn't just sit there and feel your way through it. I guess you could look at a map on the internet and follow along like that. But
I don't know. I generally don't. I didn't do Mount Silver in this playthrough, but I played through Gen 2 up through fighting the rival a number of times. I didn't remember using.
Well,
that, but whatever. I love HMs.
You only need Flash like 2 other places, and you don't. It's not super vital. You could get by, but Mount Silver would be, I would say, impossible unless you're using a map and you're sitting there pressing the directional buttons, like one button press, tapping it and memorizing it. I mean, it would be next to impossible to get to Silver, to get to Red without Flash, and there's no chance to change your Pokemon when you get to him.
Yeah, I feel like you. Yeah, I definitely feel like I have done that, because can you still see because I didn't
see anything. No,
I definitely didn't need Flash to beat the Elite Four. I know that.
Well,
no, it's a different.
No, Mount Silver is way after.
Right?
That.
No, I know that. I know what Mount Silver is.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
I played through these games a dozen times.
Yeah, no, I mean you could probably more about Flash,
but you don't. But in this one, it's in this generation, because it's been a little while since I had to use it. It doesn't show you the cave walls.
No, doesn't show the walls. All it shows is the entrance, the cave, like the entrance door that you come in, and then your sprite, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Complete blackness. No, does not show you the walls. No, if it showed you the walls, it wouldn't be a big deal. So it was, like I wouldn't have.
Yeah, I knew that. I remembered it was more difficult, but yeah, I definitely have maneuvered through it.
And
there.
I'll admit that
Flash specifically is the worst HM, and that's why they got rid of it after Gen 2. HMs as a whole, I think that those core 5 HMs that you get,
this one has like 8.
4 of the 5 HMs.
Yeah,
get
Waterfall.
Yeah, but you've got Waterfall and Whirlpool in this one also, and you can't get to certain things about it. So
yeah.
Rock
that's why you have.
And Rock Smash isn't even an HM. One of them's a TM.
I'm with Kerry. I hate HMs too, but I can understand your point.
When they got rid of HMs in Sun and Moon, that is the only generation that I jumped off of. Because for me, HMs are about the fact that your Pokemon are not just cockfighters. They are your partners. And they are doing other things outside of battle.
And that's fine. Then let those be moves that don't take up their moveset. Like let them have like an HM slot or something.
If you can't beat this game with 3 moves per Pokemon, then you're just not good at the game, I guess.
But it's not 3 moves, because you got to have Surf, Whirlpool, and Waterfall. And that's 3 water type moves. So you gotta have if you want to only take up 1 slot, that's 3 water type Pokemon in your party. That's crazy.
I mean, I usually do 2 water type Pokemon.
Yeah. Well, what I did is I had Seacune. Had Aurora Beam, and then Surf, Waterfall, and Waterpool.
I mean, Surf's the best water attack.
Surf is the best water attack. That is helpful. Well, Hydro Pump
and Waterfall is also a solid attack if you've got your primary attack is attack.
Hydro Pump is 30 power more than Surf.
Hydro Pump misses. Hydro Pump has 5 PPs and has a horrible. It's a 95 instead of 100 for to
well, that's
hit.
not horrible. 95 is not horrible, but I hear you.
It is.
You're right.
Yeah,
Surf is 100% accuracy. It's true. Anyway, I don't like HMs, and so I find that annoying. I'm all about the Pokemon taxi service. That's why you mentioned Corviknight a minute ago. I was like, I love in Pokemon Sword that the flying Pokemon that does the taxi service is Corviknight, but it's like it's a British Corviknight. There's all fancy.
I do want to ask who we all picked to start with. I picked because I had to. I picked Cyndaquil because I love my fire starters and all.
Cyndaquil is my favorite Pokemon out of all the Pokemon that are Pokemon. So I cannot not pick Cyndaquil when I play this game. Even though Chikorita, I think, is the best choice.
Okay.
Because there are 0 good grass Pokemon in this game except for Chikorita. So
I can agree. I use Gloom.
If you want to, well, yeah. Gloom is good. Gloom is good. I guess I also like to, whenever I play Pokemon games, I like to only play Pokemon from that generation if I can.
Oh, okay.
I try to avoid. Except for I always get an Abra because I always need teleport. But other than that, I always try to use all current gen. So
there's an item that does that, right?
There's
Escape Rope.
Yeah,
Escape Rope pulls you out of the cave you're in. It'll teleport you also if you're not in a cave.
No, it just I forgot
it pulls you out of the cave. That's all you need.
Yeah, but he's talking about.
Oh, I'm talking about being able to teleport to the last Pokemon Center. It's super
you
useful.
are bad at this game.
I think you played it right.
You need to go to the last Pokemon Center ever. You should always be going to the next Pokemon Center.
Okay.
If things don't, well, I mean, hey, if you're trying to clear out the trainers, you go back to the old one. I mean, that's how I play too.
You don't get them on the first try? I don't understand.
No, I usually will fight a few trainers and then go back, heal up, and then fight a few more trainers, go back, heal up when I'm going through a route.
Man, you guys are bad at this game. You should get them on the first go through.
Never, not anymore. Maybe at one day, like when I was younger.
I would say I'm the one here who beat Red. So
yeah, I mean, you guys were also playing on accelerated emulators. I wasn't using any flash saves or anything. I was only saving.
100%.
I was only legit saving. I just have it on fast forward so it's not as tedious. Because that's another thing with these older games is, man, the animations are forever. Like it is glacial. You forget how slow it used to be.
So you just don't enjoy playing the game. Okay.
I enjoy playing the game. I don't enjoy watching the game play itself. No. I play it. I enjoy the playing of it. I enjoy the strategy and all that kind of stuff. I don't enjoy watching it slowly, the Pokemon slowly fly into space and then slowly do their moves and slowly faint and all that.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the game, though.
When you're a child, sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing it to enjoy it,
it's all about it's all about the strategy and the accomplishment.
So, Kendall, did you pick Totodile, the dog Pokemon?
Yes. Totodile, the dog Pokemon.
Totodile, the dog type.
That's a joke we recorded a long time ago. Hey there, Bulbasaur episode. He called Totodile.
Beyond Bulbasaur is the name of the podcast.
Beyond Bulbasaur. All right, it's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. I've been thinking about bringing that back though, because that was a fun little podcast.
I like Totodile.
I do too. I should have picked him. Cool. I regretted not picking him because he's really good in this game.
I just feel like I'm betraying someone if I don't. I'm betraying Cyndaquil if I don't pick Cyndaquil in every game.
Yeah,
one of the reasons I love Arceus so much.
I usually don't use the starters. I usually just get a starter and then box it immediately. But I was playing through this as just being chill, just enjoying myself, and yeah. So I went with Totodile, and not only did I go with Totodile, but I over-leveled him. I basically just played for like the first 3 gyms, like didn't even use any other Pokemon besides Totodile. So he was consistently over-leveled throughout the whole game.
Have you done a single run before? A single Mon run before?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, that's what my previous. So this is only my second time to play through it. In my first playthrough, I lost my save when I was around about to go to the Elite Four. So I hadn't beaten it yet, but I was doing a one Pokemon run, like a starter only run, which sounds really cool. But actually, no, it's too easy. It's busted. You do have to cheat and have like a couple of HM slaves because.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, yeah, you only play with your starter, and it's too easy. Like I think the real challenge would be to do like an all Rattata run or something. Beat it with Rattata only.
Or another.
But beat it with Cyndaquil only is it was pretty easy up to where I got anyway. It was just like you're saying, the starters are just so powerful. I see why Kendall boxes them. Yeah. I kind of didn't use mine very much just because I was enjoying the other team.
So the reason that I normally box them, especially if it's the first time playing through a game, actually doesn't have to do with it's not like a self-imposed challenge, but it's got to do with what you were saying earlier about trying to focus on new Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
And to me, the starters are always, evolve at level 16 and 36.
Yep.
They're fire, grass, water.
Right.
Especially like I think the last couple generations have had some really cool starters do really interesting things.
And
one of the reasons that I got so mad about Sun and Moon getting rid of HMs is that you finally had a grass type that that could learn flying. So like,
oh yeah,
one of the hardest things for the HM thing is like finding a good solid flyer on your team. And I mean that's why HMs are so cool, because like then it's not only this Pokemon that is there to fight, but like you're like looking for like somebody who can do both of these jobs and can be strong enough. And plus Fly is such a cool attack.
Yeah, Fly and Surf are both great, but again, Flash and Strength and Rock Smash, which isn't even an HM, but is still necessary. Like those are frustrating. And then the extra ones they added. But I can get behind your philosophy on Fly and Surf and Cut.
Yeah, I think so. If I was going to fix it, because I understand some of the criticisms, even if I 100% don't agree with them. But if I was going to fix it, all you would need to do to fix it would be make Fly a little bit stronger, because Fly is like I think it's a 60 damage. If you made it like 60. An 80 or a 90, like on par with Surf, that would be really good.
Yeah, Surf is 120 in this game, which is powerful.
Damn.
Yeah, and then I would make Surf is perfect as it is. Strength I would make about the same strength, but make it fighting type.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that would help.
That would have been great, because I needed a fighting type in this game and I never got one.
Oh, and a lot of times also I feel like a lot of times that's the case, that fighting types leave some to be desired. I have this I think it's the Pokemon trading card game mindset, or like the first time I played through. Because the first time I played through with Bulbasaur and stuff. Yeah, but having ground, rock, and fighting all like one thing that is weak to grass and water is like what is in my mind, even though that's not true.
I played the playing card game with my son, and I had to kind of like, we both have to do that because he started on the video games also, and then we both went to the card games, and we both have to remember the types like that.
Yeah. But I kind of lump all of those types together as being the worst types.
Yeah.
Mostly just because of like, there were several rock/ground type Pokemon in Gen 1, Onix and Geodude and some others that just like, you could have like a level 5 Bulbasaur that knows some grass attack, and it would like just completely wipe him out, because it'd be ×4 damage.
Yeah,
it's not like the anime where you beat Onix with a Pikachu. Like turning on the sprinklers, you see, because it conducts the water.
I have totally come around on that on Ash in the anime. Like,
I love the anime.
I hated him growing up because he didn't ever like actually beat the gym leaders. And actually, that's where I really like the Cinnabar Island episode, because he does like, he loses to the gym leader, and then like he saves the day, and Ash is like, "So are you gonna give me a gym badge now?" He's like, "No, you have to beat the gym leader in order to get the gym badge." And then stuff where and also having Ash not win the Indigo League and everything
like 20 years later.
Right. Yeah. But just consist like this.
Oh no, that's good. It's Rocky losing at the end of Rocky 1. No, I get you. I'm with you on Ash. And as far as your HM thing goes, I agree. Turn strength into I would say combine strength and Rock Smash first of all, and make it a fighting type move and make it more powerful.
Yep.
And then that's really the trick is there needs to be less HMs and they need to be more useful in combat.
Right.
But
I think
Surf probably needs to be nerfed because Surf was ridiculous. Like I was like even things that weren't weak to water, I was like knocking out with Surf. It was ridiculous. Like I was taking out water type Pokemon with Surf.
Yeah, because Surf is just so damn good.
The point of HMs, the reason for HMs, and I mean in the modern games, I mean especially in Sword and Shield, I just felt like it was like not even an open world. Like it is just super linear, just completely pointing you in that direction. In the first few generations, especially I noticed this in Gen 1, but I think it's mostly just because I have that map completely memorized.
Yeah.
But it is like you walk past the thing and it's like I know I'm gonna have to come back here later because there's a tree here or there's a boulder here or something. And I think you could with Fly as a fast travel and then three HMs that are blocking off areas, you could block off the too strong of areas and still have that, that backtreading and the Metroidvania-ness or the open worldness.
I think that's legit. They also would need to be a little more liberal with who can learn Fly because it's a little annoying when you have a Pokemon that literally has wings and can't learn Fly. I had that Togetic. It has wings. Its little sprite in the menu is flapping its wings, and it can't learn Fly, and that was annoying.
I feel like that's just.
I feel like he can learn it in later generations.
Yeah, maybe he could. I didn't think he could, but also it was another one like Mantine. Looks like, I know he's supposed to be a manta ray, but he looks like he's flying. Like let him do Fly and Surf. I played with Mantine for a while, and then I ended up replacing him when I got Suicune. But he was my water type for a little chunk of the game. But yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you on the HMs. I could be persuaded on the HMs. I still.
You're the most open-minded person. You're the closest thing to anyone agreeing with me on this that has ever existed in the world. So
no, I get you. I think the biggest thing. This game is just egregious with it. The HMs didn't bother me in Red and Blue. They bother me in Gold and Silver and Crystal. That's too much. The freaking Whirlpool that you use once the entire game, one time, and the entire game that you need Whirlpool, and then Waterfall you need twice. And Whirlpool isn't even a good move. Like at least Waterfall does some good damage. Whirlpool is just garbage. Only thing, it might be useful in competitive play because it's basically a water type version of Wrap, but still. Maybe Togetic could have learned Fly now that I'm thinking about it. I didn't even try because by that point I got a Pidgeot. Yeah, I got a Pidgeot and had it flying until I got Lugia, and then I taught Lugia Fly.
I always do that too because
here's the thing. I was going to say in Silver, Lugia learns the best flying move in the game. I can't remember what it's called, but
or something. I think.
No, it's like Air Blast or something. Not Gust, but anyway. Point is it doesn't learn it in Gold or Crystal, and so Lugia is like such a powerful Pokemon. In fact, stat wise, it's the most powerful Pokemon in the game, even more than Ho-Oh. But it only knows Hydro Pump and Gust, which is like it knows Hydro Pump and then no damaging moves. So I gave it Fly, and then Fly is fairly powerful. Fly was useful. And I gave it Steel Wing, so it would have something else, but I never ended up using Steel Wing at all. Truth is, I just used Hydro.
I can confirm Togetic can learn Fly.
Okay,
Fly's a 70 damage, so actually that's
pretty good. I like it. I used it a lot.
Useful. Yeah, I didn't teach Togetic Fly because by the time it came up, I wasn't using it anymore, and then I brought the Togetic out specifically to fight Red, so I would have Flash, and then because I had taught Flash to Togetic and then never used it except for the one time you need it where you could get away without it if you use a map or something. But
so my only issue with this run through was I was kind of waiting for that moment where in a lot of Pokemon games where the map really opens up and you suddenly have access to 100 different Pokemon. And part of it is that there's only 100 new Pokemon, and 10 of them are 9 of them are starters, and there's another batch of them that are legendaries, and there's another batch of them that are egg Pokemon.
like 8 that are in Pokemon Gold and Silver that aren't in Crystal. Also, you can only get from trading.
Yeah. So there's
it's really reduced.
Yeah. So that's, but even like being willing to do Gen 1 Pokemon, because I wasn't necessarily against that, but I just didn't feel like there was that spot where suddenly you're seeing new stuff all get, like, I only had 4 Pokemon on my team when I started grinding against the Elite Four.
Yeah.
And then when I did beat the Elite Four, I had one guy that I was leveling up, and then a guy that was like the next in line. I have like a level 5 Caterpie on my Elite Four team.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess there is the victory lap around Kanto, which I didn't play through on this time.
You don't need to.
I thought that was a lot of fun, and that was one of the things I think is a major point in favor of Gen 2 is them throwing in Kanto as like a bonus at the end. Yeah, it was really nice.
I don't understand why they haven't done that in anything since then.
I mean, they should do that in every game. Should have like a bonus area like that, because it did add. Because I beat the Elite Four a long time ago, and then I was like, all right, well, let's do Kanto. And you start doing the Kanto, and it's funny because, and this is kind of a minor complaint about it, the random Pokemon you come across are all like really low level. They're not even appropriately leveled for where they would have been in Red and Blue. Like, they're like level like 8 and shit for most of it. But then the trainers are fairly appropriately leveled. They're not quite, they're like level 35 to 45. And then the gyms are similarly, and like Viridian City Gym, I actually lost that. Blue beat me, and I had to go back and try it again. I beat him on my second try, but still, like, it was actually, he was more difficult than the Elite Four for sure. Which
that's okay. So that's a criticism that I have, that they take your rival from they have you play against the protagonist from Gen 1, you play against your rival from Gen 1. Nobody named their character Red. Nobody named their character Blue.
But they didn't know what else to call.
Yeah, but those are the
It should have been Ash and Gary.
It should have been Ash and Gary, especially because when you fight Red, his Pokemon that he throws out first is a level 81 Pikachu. An unevolved level 81 Pikachu. It's obviously supposed to be Ash. Just say it's Ash.
I wonder if it was I wasn't going to say a rights thing, but I wonder what their reasoning was. There had to have been some.
Oh, it could 100% be a rights thing. They might have a different set of rights and royalties. I mean, I guarantee they do. I bet there's somebody they have to pay anytime they use Ash.
Yeah.
Ash is one of the preset names in Red and Blue.
It is.
Ash and Gary. I mean, that's why it's Ash and Gary. It's those characters.
Yeah, but still, I bet there's something going on there with they decided that there's like one person they don't have to pay 10 cents to for every Pokemon cartridge.
No, I think it's that the color names were the first, like, the first sample name.
Yeah,
those are the canonical character names. Those are the character names in the manga.
Yeah, the manga. You're right. That's true. Yeah,
and it's fun. In the OVA,
I thought it was really neat that you run into Blue down in Cinnabar Island.
Yep.
And then he's like, "All right, I'm actually the gym leader in Viridian City. I'll see you there." And then you go there, and he actually, like, he's a good. His Pokemon are a good, like, 10 levels higher than Lance's Pokemon in the Elite Four.
Yeah,
he's pretty legit. 60s. And they're like 55 to 65. Yeah. But then you beat him, and I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go beat Ash now. And I go to beat Ash, and he throws out that level 81 fucking Pikachu. And my team was all like level 50, 51. And I'm like, shit. And I had nothing that could counter his Snorlax. His freaking Snorlax. I didn't have anything to counter his Snorlax my first round. And it's that Togetic is what killed it, actually. My Togetic, of all Pokemon, that I had to level from 36 to 56, my level 56 Togetic killed his level 75 Snorlax, which is pretty awesome.
Because there's not a lot of fighting in this game, I feel. There's not a lot of fighting type Pokemon. And that's what you need to be normal type.
I did normal type. I did Double Edge, which is Double Edge a fighting move? I guess I thought it's normal type.
Double Edge is normal type.
Yeah, but I did Double Edge 3 times, and the third time I did it, it knocked out him and my Togetic, but I did it.
Okay. Well, at least you beat him.
Yeah.
So, another thing about Gen 2, and I mean, Dratini and Dragonite and everything exist in Gen 1. Yeah. But for me, the thing that blew my mind is the pseudo legendary that's like super hard to train up, super hard to evolve up, was Larvitar, Pupitar, Tyranitar.
Oh,
I forgot because I've never played Mount Silver. I didn't do it in this playthrough because I was just done with the game.
It's like you're going through Mount Silver and there's these like crazy high level Pokemon, and then you run into this little guy that's name is Larva, and he's like, level 15, level 20, and then like I remember when I was younger playing through Gen 2, and like you get that, and then you're like grinding through the Elite Four, and it's like he just keeps, he eventually evolves to Pupitar, and Pupitar is like one of my favorite. I love that design. He's one of my favorite middle evolutions. A lot of middle evolutions just look like the awkward teenage version of halfway between the other two, but he's a very distinct design himself, and then like he's strong enough. He doesn't evolve until like 55 or something. So he's strong enough to fight the Elite Four as a middle evolution. And I know that Dragonair is the same way.
Mount Silver.
Right, so you get him in Mount Silver, but then you go back, like, because Mount Silver is like way after the Elite Four.
Right,
you can just fight
you get him at
the
very end of the game, and his level is like super low, and he evolves to his middle form at like level 35, and then finally evolves at like level 55. Yeah. So you have to put in so much effort to get him, and then he's badass.
Yeah, my son and I have a deck based around him, so I'm familiar with the Pokemon, but I didn't even know it was in this game. I didn't find him. Mm-hmm. So I guess I need to explore Mount Silver a little bit more, because there's a whole section of Mount Silver I didn't go to because I went straight to Red.
Okay, that's cool.
I'll have to check. Yeah,
I've just never played. Like, this playthrough, I did use some different Pokemon. I used Poliwhirl this time, and then upgraded him to Poliwrath. I have never used Poliwrath before. He's a pretty good Pokemon.
Yeah, I used Poliwrath when I beat Let's Go Pikachu. I used a Poliwrath in my team that I beat the Elite Four with, and that I like Poliwrath. Is he dual water and fighting in Gen 2?
Yes,
like he is in later gens. Okay,
I can tell you.
Well, yeah, I guess we could say what our teams were. I was Suicune, and then of course my Cyndaquil, which I did evolve, but I nicknamed him Cyndaquil. So yeah, I nicknamed him Cyndaquil. So he was Cyndaquil the whole time to me. No Typhlosion business. And then I had a Kadabra that I didn't trade or anything, so I couldn't evolve him to an Alakazam. And then I had Lugia in my final team. Though that was after I beat the Elite Four the first time. I don't remember what I had the first time I beat the Elite Four. I had a Gyarados, yeah, because I had that Gyarados.
The red one?
Well, I didn't catch the red one, actually. I accidentally knocked him out, so I had a regular Gyarados that I had raised myself. That was Gyarados and Abra were my two Gen 1 Pokemon I allowed myself to use, and then I briefly had a Pidgeot just for flying until I got Lugia. I had my Togetic, and then, I had a Skiploom as my grass type.
I used Gloom because I had an Oddish.
Skiploom is garbage. Don't use Skiploom. I used him because I was like, it was kind of a sunk cost fallacy thing. I'm like, well, I put like 45 levels in this damn thing. I guess I'm going to use it. I looked up what grass Pokemon are in this game, and it's literally
the weakest.
Well, no, it's like he's literally the only Gen 2 grass Pokemon in the game other than Chikorita.
I mean, Gen 2.
All the others are Gen 1. There's
doesn't have enough.
And all that stuff. And then I can't remember what else I had in my team, but anyway, that was it.
There's not enough Pokemon.
I did use the Sand Slash actually, so I guess I used some Gen 1s. I just didn't have them by the end of the game.
Okay,
I didn't have Sand Slash.
Yes, Kendall.
My team was for Alligator, the dog Alligator.
Nice.
It was Red Gyarados because I was like, I'm letting myself have the canonical team, like the stuff that they give you,
Yeah.
It was Noctowl. Now let me tell you about Noctowl. So there's Pokemon is steeped in nostalgia, right? It's impossible to escape the nostalgia of Pokemon.
Yes.
There are a handful of Gen 2 Pokemon, and Noctowl is probably Hoot Hoot and Noctowl. That evolutionary chain is probably like the poster child for this for me.
Oh yeah.
Where
it was in the anime too.
Yeah.
And the movie. Where I played Red version over and over. Like when I returned for a long time, when I returned to Pokemon games, it was always to Gen 1. It was specifically to Red version. Like I would go in. I don't know if the 10 million downloads episode has gone up on the feed, but I talked about it there.
Not.
Where I would go on vacation as a teenager. We go to some remote, beautiful island area or island. Yeah, well, I guess it was an island, but we go to this place in Canada called Manitoulin Island. It was an island on Lake Huron. Out, there was no TV. You could only listen to the CBC. There was a bread store downtown, down in town a mile away, and there were lots of fishing and pretty stuff. But I would bring my Game Boy, and I would do a playthrough of Red. So that combined with the anime, which I only watched the Indigo League of the anime, meant that that those first 150 have been constants in my life. When I got back into Pokemon as an adult, I played through Gen 1 again, obviously, and then the current generation was Black and White, which was all new Pokemon, and then X and Y came out, and that was the first time that I was playing, kind of with access to everything. And the first time that I ran into a Noctowl, it was like nostalgia bubbles because because Noctowl was on my team, or a Hoothoot or whatever. And one of the first Pokemon that you catch, he's a flyer, he's a solid whatever, so he stays on the team for a long time.
Different.
In the one playthrough of Silver version that I played through in middle school, and it was that type of nostalgia where it's like you don't even remember that you're nostalgic for it until it hits you, and it like unlocks hidden memories and everything. And that's where Noctowl is at for me. And to a lesser extent, another canonical like plot point Pokemon that was on my team, Sudowoodo.
Okay.
Which I love Sudowoodo. I loved it in X and Y when you had the Horde Pokemon, you'd have a horde of grass type Pokemon and a Sudowoodo.
Oh yeah, like hiding
because he was pretending he was a wood Pokemon.
Yeah, that's funny.
I need to play X and Y. I think
I forgot about the Horde thing in X and Y. Yeah.
X and Y is my like if I had to say what is like objectively the best one, trying to be objective and acknowledging that I would fail because it has its own type of nostalgia, because it was the first new game that I came back to as an adult. But I think that it has the right balance, that generation has the best balance of old ideas and new or of modern comforts with a foot in the past. I think everything past that.
That's perfectly said. I agree 100%.
I've only
everything
played
past that. The game is something different, and I do think Sword and Shield was I really enjoyed Sword and Shield, and as a first console experience game, I really liked. Arceus, I did not play, and I didn't really sound like it would appeal to me, but
I think Arceus is absolutely a wonderful game. It's a completely different experience entirely. It's a spin-off. It's great, but I would consider it a spin-off, not
honestly. I mean, I'm going all over the place here, but I had 4 drinks and they haven't hit me yet, but they probably will. Arceus, or not Arceus. If I was the boss of Pokemon, I've had a lot of different pitches over the years, but I think where I'm at right now is I would build a studio similar to the studio that Square has that has been developed Octopath Traveler and Bravely Default and the Triangle one, where it's like we're gonna make a game in the style. It's a throwback to the Game Boy game style or like a 2.5D or whatever, but we're making a classic Pokemon game that appeals to Kendall. That has HMs, that is 2D graphics, but then they update it because it only has 4 HMs. It doesn't have 7 HMs, that sort of thing.
I could get down with that. I think I agree with what you said. X and Y is probably objectively the best of all worlds. You're right, because it has that foot in the past, but it has those modern conveniences. Like it has experience. X and Y is X and Y the first one where it has experience share just on.
Yeah. And I go back and forth on that.
I understand why you go back and forth on it, but it would have made certain parts of this a little. You don't have to be like hardcore with it, But it was a little frustrating, like trying to get that Togetic up to speed.
Yeah.
At the end, I was just grinding. Like if I hadn't had the speed turned up, it would have taken me like 5 hours of grinding to beat Red.
I mean, for me,
at the end there, and it was a little annoying.
I got to the Elite Four and I couldn't beat them because I got to Lance. I could not beat Lance's Dragon Pokemon, so I had to go and catch not Pillow-Swine, whatever the hell its original Swinnow or whatever the hell it's called. Yeah. And then level that from like 20 something to 50 and evolve him and make him actually be able, like that took me, I mean.
Did you not catch Suicune?
No, not until after I beat the game.
I'll say Suicune, his like Aurora Blast just ripped Lance apart.
Yeah, I didn't look up. I never go for legendaries. I don't look it up till after I beat the Elite Four, and that's when I realized I could have caught him way earlier. I caught him.
Yeah, I didn't catch him. I didn't catch any legendaries.
Yeah, I didn't catch any.
Mike told me that you can't catch any legendaries before the Elite Four.
Just Suicune.
No, you can catch Suicune, and I think you can catch Raikou and Entei before the Elite Four also.
Yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't count.
Raikou and Entei are ridiculous. Like, I was looking at how to catch them, and it looks like black magic. I'm like, no, that's okay. I'm just not going to get them.
You're supposed to, like, the whole thing about, like, because I thought, one reason I wanted to play Crystal, because I thought Crystal would be a lot like how Yellow is, where you get, a few extra Pokemon, and you get some special stuff, which is not really like that. Yeah. I want to say it's more of just Silver or Gold, but a little bit tweaked, and that's it. Whereas Suicune is easier to catch, because you have the 3 legendary dogs, Raikou and Entei, Suicune. Suicune you can get through story, essentially just fight him and then catch him if you're able to. Entei and Raikou you have to randomly get, but then they run away immediately. And
and it's not completely random, but yes, there's like triggers for it, and people have figured out the like math behind it and how to do it, and even then it's still like, well, he's liable to show up in one of these 3 places, so keep going to these 3 places, still he shows up, and I hate it. I get it. He's supposed to be legendary, so
what also irritates me is that like you can get Lugia in this game, you can only get Ho-Oh if you catch all 3 dogs, then you can get Ho-Oh.
Right. So I didn't get Ho-Oh either.
And Ho-Oh is barely better than Moltres.
They don't have the other birds aren't in this game. Mewtwo isn't in this game. Like that stuff bothered me. Like you can go to Kanto, but you can't get the old legendaries.
Yeah, because Red already caught them.
So and I do like it that this game.
But he doesn't use them against you.
Yeah, because he's a real trainer.
He uses all 3 starters and Pikachu and Snorlax, which makes sense. An Espeon. He has an Espeon, which I was like, an Espeon? Oh, was that? Did Ash ever have an Espeon?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, but I guess they wanted to give him a psychic Pokemon, and they didn't want it to be.
Well, he didn't. I mean, So the thing is,
should have been the Mr. Mime that's nailing his mom. That's what it should have been. That should have been the psychic Pokemon.
The reason it's Espeon is because he didn't make a choice for what it should evolve into. He just made it be its friend, and then when he was his friend long enough, then it was daytime, so it evolved into Espeon.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay, that makes sense.
I guarantee that's their thought behind why it was Espeon, because that is the perfect Pokemon for Ash. It just evolved on its own based on him being a good friend.
Yeah, because Ash won't evolve anybody. So
cool.
Speaking of which, Gen 2 introduces my favorite evolution, Umbreon.
Yeah. I was gonna say Umbreon is my favorite evolution. Also, it's my son's favorite Pokemon. Or it was at one point. I remember I got from like the mail order from the Pokemon Center in Tokyo. Got an Umbreon plush form when he was a lot younger.
Cute. Oh wow!
Because they did.
I have an Umbreon bumper sticker.
Oh nice! I love the design of Umbreon. I like Umbreon and Espeon, and I had that was in my Sun and Moon game. I got all the evolutions and then made like an EV team to play through with it.
I also never got an Eevee in this playthrough. I didn't look up how to do it because I didn't really care. I was just getting the Pokemon I needed for my team, and I would catch.
Oh, I didn't even know if Eevee was in the game. I never found it.
I don't know. I'm assuming he is, but who the fuck knows with this game?
I really am not sure. But yeah, I want to say I thought there's something else about the game that I was thinking.
Part of the goal is to have you trade a lot from Red and Blue to Crystal. That was part of the goal.
Yeah, there's a bunch. I was looking at a list, and there's a bunch of Pokemon that are in the game, but only through trading.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that many. It's like 15.
Many.
But yeah, I thought I think we lost Kendall at some point.
I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Yay. Yeah,
I don't know.
We were just talking about how much
Skype
this game sucks and we hate it. No. I did think it's something I don't like about it, though. This cell phone thing was annoying. I never found it to be anything more than annoying. Like, I'm sure that it is useful for catching specific Pokemon you're looking for, because they'll occasionally call you up and be like, hey, there's a such and such Pokemon at this location right now, and then you can go and catch it.
Okay, there was one good thing about the cell phone, because the only way to get a Water Stone in this game, well, there's two ways. So they're really dumb. One is you have to go in Kanto, and you go to Bill's uncle or Bill's, whoever the hell, in Bill's house, and you have to show him a certain Pokemon, a Lickitung, which I didn't have.
Right.
Or there's a random fisherman trainer you beat, talk to, give him your phone number, he'll call you and say, I have something nice for you. But if you wait too long, he'll call you again, and he won't have it anymore.
That's
the only way to get a Water Stone in this game.
Yeah, because you had the Poliwrath.
Yeah, and that was stupid. I didn't get him till I was well into Kanto when I finally got my Water Stone.
I think I did. Yeah, I think I actually looked that up in my last playthrough because I wanted a Poliwrath.
He's a good Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a girl who goes from town to town. And if you meet her in the different towns, she gives you different items. And I believe she gives you one of the items she gives you is a leaf stone.
Okay.
So it's possible you can get a Water Stone from her. I don't know though.
Yeah. So the cell phone thing, that's actually interesting. In previous playthroughs, it has always annoyed me. In this one, I didn't give my phone number to anybody.
Oh yeah, that's the trick. You just don't give the phone number out to people, and it's fine.
And it was fine. Like it was only it actually works if you only use it when Professor Elm is calling you.
Oh yeah, your mom. Your mom will
or your mom, for plot points.
She bought me. She would buy me items. I sent her money, but I have no idea. She's like, check your computer. Never.
Let her take some of your money, and she buys items for you.
I never looked at which size.
That's for people who are bad at this game and black out a lot. I will say that's a criticism I have of the game. I like it better when it's blackout than whiteout.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Why did they change it, I wonder?
Well, I mean, I would imagine it changed to whiteout instead of blackout because blacking out is what I'm going to do tonight after I
that's what I was just thinking. It's associated
but also it's a funny joke because you're on the Game Boy and the screen goes white.
Right.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
Yeah, and
maybe.
So I feel like, am I wrong? In the previous games, if you blacked out, did you lose your progress and go back to your previous save?
No. Just went back to the Pokemon Center.
It's Dragon Warrior. It's not Final Fantasy.
Okay, I was trying to remember because I don't remember blacking out in these games very often, if ever. But I did white out 2 or 3 times in this game. Like blue did it to me once. Red did it to me 3 times. So it took me 4 tries to beat red, and I didn't lose any progress in those. And I was like, oh well, good. Because getting to red, I would grind on the way there and gain a few levels, and then so I was still getting progress. So that's good.
Right. Lose money.
Yeah, I agree.
You lose half your money.
Oh, you lose half your money. Oh,
in later games it's less, but I believe in this generation it's still half your money because
that's significant at the end of the game too.
Because that was what I spent 10 hours on in real time because I wasn't cheating like you guys. I spent 10 hours on the Elite Four this week.
Wow.
That's too much.
No, it's the right amount.
You didn't beat him on your first try?
No, I didn't. That's not where you don't beat the.
I thought you were good at this game.
You don't know if you're good at even if you're good at this game, if you do it right, it's the Elite Four is such a jump. It's such a big jump. If you're doing anything like a critical path, which I was doing a pretty clear.
Oh no, by the time I got to the Elite Four, they were pushovers. Lance wouldn't have been if I didn't have a Suicune, but everything. Well, yeah, ice, and then he switches. He's like, here's rock type, and here's fire type real fast. And it's like, okay, so my Suicune, who knows Aurora Beam, Recover, Surf, and Waterfall. All right, no problem.
So you're double cheating because you're also using legendaries. So that's
you're double cheating.
What's that? That was my
I mean, didn't you have 80 hours logged when you beat the Elite Four though?
Oh, well, yeah, because it had it in the fast forward mode, so it's like. Every time you set it down for 5 minutes, 5 hours passes. But yeah, I wonder what my time is now because I saved right after I beat red,
Because I believe I had 20 hours when I beat
Okay, yeah,
I played only in ×2 speed, and by the time that I beat the Elite Four, ran through all 16 gyms, I have 34 hours.
After beating Red, playing at 5 times speed, my playtime is 134 hours and 55 minutes. That's 16 badges, 51 Pokemon in the Pokedex, because I did not try to complete the Pokedex this time
there's
around.
No point.
I do like to try to complete the Pokedex. I tried to complete the Pokedex in Sun, and I tried to do it in in Sword, and I got pretty close in Sun. I didn't get anywhere close in Sword, because there's... Well, I don't know. I got a lot. I don't know how close I got.
But plus in this, you were playing with
a
time limit, so there's also that difference, too.
Yeah, but but anyway, no, I didn't try to complete it in this one. But yeah, no, I played it at 5 times speed. Definitely, I grinded the Elite Four. I beat the Elite Four like 20 or 30 times to grind after beating Elite Four. That was my grinding to get ready for Kanto region, and then and Blue, because even with that, I wasn't. I had to do that to get ready for Blue because he was rough, and then to get ready for Red. But then, really, the lead up to Red is also good because it's those caves are just full of level 48 Pokemon, and they're all Rock type or Fire type. So,
okay, that's a good way to level up then.
Yeah, so I leveled up my Suicune to 62 that way, but to level up the whole team, the best way was just to beat the Elite Four over and over again.
So speaking of, I will say I played this on. I was not playing on original hardware. I was playing on my 3DS, which I believe is the best way to play this. Is the 3DS Virtual Console. The best thing about this, which you can still purchase until March 27th, 2023. But get one of those. I've had this 3DS since it was like 2010 that I got it, I think.
So it's a launch edition?
What'd you say?
Is it a launch edition then?
It is the first price drop. So they had not.
Okay, cool.
It is black.
Post ambassador. Yeah, so in the black
it's post.
Nice.
Yeah, it's post ambassador. But it is black and it is not very ergonomic.
Yeah. If you're not aware, my Twitch channel, my main thing I do is I purchase broken consoles and repair them and modify them and stuff and all that. And so yeah, I've got a few various models of 3DSs.
But man, when they were like, we're coming out with Pokemon games for a system that has a backlight, that was a game changer for me.
Oh yeah. I've got most of the Pokemon games on my 3DS. Yeah. I have a 3DS XL, but yeah, I've got most of the games. I have Crystal on there. Actually,
it's such a great experience playing on that.
Yeah.
I have all my Pokemon games on this device right here. It looks like an Android cell phone. That's all I'll do.
I have a Japanese Crystal GBC cart in my workshop, and I use it that's what I use as my test game for when I'm testing Game Boys.
Does the battery works?
Yeah, battery works, and it's I like the intro screen on the Japanese Crystal. It's different, but has Lugia flying in the background and stuff. But I have that, and I have a backlit Game Boy Color in the shop that I played it on a little bit. But it's hard to play in Japanese if you don't read Japanese, which I don't. So,
I can see that.
Yeah, I was like, all right, well, I'm not gonna. I thought about it. I was like, ooh, I should play my Japanese copy of Crystal just to be weird. And then I was like, no, I'm just gonna play it on my phone.
I couldn't have played this without my phone. It's just that's how I play all Pokemon games in general. I can't play.
Yeah, I will say, like, people. That's my number. When people say what kind of games to get on your phone, like, that's how playing through old JRPGs on the phone is really the way I do it. That's how I played through Final Fantasy 1, 4, 6, 7, 9, 8. Or I haven't finished 8 yet, but doing that, and then I played several Pokemon games on there. It's a good way to do it.
Because, like, for me, the reason I put this on the show is because my previous job involved a lot of time of waiting for things to happen or walking from point A to point B, and I was like, hey, I'll put this on my phone. I can just, when I'm walking to the copier to grab something, I can play Pokemon Crystal. It didn't work because I got fired before that. That was the reason I played Pokemon. And it was not for doing that, no. It was for dumb shit. We'll
Kendall, do you do Nuzlocke runs ever?
No. Like, the thing is, when I play Pokemon, it's to relax. I went through a phase. We all went through that phase where we put a Ditto in the thing and we walked back and forth for 20 hours while we were watching some show in the early streaming era that we thought we had all the time in the world. But no, I play through I mostly just play through the campaigns. I do them over and over again. Sometimes I try to do different Pokemon, but no, I've just, the idea of a Nuzlocke run, it's just like, it's too, I don't know. It's just
stressful. Yeah, I hear it.
It terrifies me.
I'm here to
unwind.
Person.
Look, if I wanted a stressful game, I'd play Elden Ring or Dark Souls.
I would say I'm a Dark
Souls. Play Resident Evil 2 Remake if you want a stressful game.
I like to put a little I like to do challenge runs with stuff. So I tried for this podcast. I was like, I'm going to do a Nuzlocke run for Crystal. And I did until I got to that what's her name for freaking Miltank?
Whitney, I think.
Whitney and that damn Miltank. That Miltank took out my entire team of in my Nuzlocke run. I was not prepared like that. And that's, but I like Nuzlocke. I think it's a fun way to play if you've already played the game. It adds a fun little challenge to it. You actually get to know Rattata a little bit. Get to know Rattata and Hoot Hoot. I had a Rattata and a Hoot Hoot on there.
Well, I mean, you can get to know Rattata by just having a Rattata. You don't have to.
But
only
see,
have a Rattata until
when it gets knocked out, and then you have to say goodbye to it and delete it or let it free. You have to set it free. You have to say goodbye to Rat Baby. That's
I just have it just seems too much for me. I don't want to deal with that. So I won't mess with it.
It definitely after I wiped it, Whitney, I was like, all right, no Nuzlocke this time. I'm just gonna play legit. No Nuzlocke, no single mon run. I'm gonna play just a regular legit run.
Well, that's good though, because that gives us more for this episode too to kind of like experience it the way maybe we were supposed to. I do want to say that the only reason that Cantle's even in this game, because I think it was Miyamoto had said that, or someone had said, maybe it's Iwata, someone had said if you're going to make this, you got to put the old region in this game too. And and they were somehow able to fit all of that onto the cartridge.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's like an urban legend about it that's not true. That Iwata found out a secret way to do it and all that kind of stuff, and that wasn't accurate. But it is. But I do believe that was a directive of some sort.
Yeah, it was a directive from what.
Yeah, I think Iwata was involved, but he didn't. He came up with the compression algorithm they used for Gen 2, but that isn't why they're able to fit the game on there, because the compression algorithm he came up with is actually compresses it less than the previous algorithm. So it didn't save space at all to use his algorithm, but his algorithm is more efficient with the processor, so it makes the game less laggy.
Okay.
So it's still good. His algorithm's better, and Iwata was an absolute programming genius. But no, the reason is it's not the cartridge. The cartridge for gold and silver is 4 times the size of the cartridge for red and blue. That's why we're able to fit Kanto on there. So yeah, that's it. And also the Kanto region on this is only like a fourth, only like half the size of the full game of red and blue. It's not like they added the full game of red and blue.
Yeah, because they took out all the extra dungeons. Viridian Forest doesn't exist. You're missing a lot of that.
The Safari Zone is closed, a bunch of stuff like that, and there's not as many trainers, there's not as many Pokemon.
Yeah, just
a lot of
gyms
stuff
are there.
Yeah, so but anyway,
and Cinnabar Island is gone.
Yeah, yeah, but
it's okay. Like I'm happy it exists, but we don't need it.
But Iwata did come up with the compression algorithm though for Gen 2 that I think they used for a while after it also, but I think they used it in later in Gen 3, but maybe not. I don't know.
Cool.
And he did also, I believe it's true that he did it like really quickly also, but Iwata is like amazing. Like it's when you look at all the stuff that he did before being CEO or president, not CEO, but
yeah, he seemed like good.
But I think, adding Kanto onto this was just, it's a nice cherry on top. It really is. I think that is something that sets Gold and Silver apart even by itself, or the Gen 2 apart even by itself, was just having something to do after the Elite Four that isn't catching Mewtwo. I mean,
yeah. I agree. It's a nice thing for like, where you start having your first post-game stuff. I feel like Emerald had a bunch of post-game stuff. I know other Pokemon do. I need to play more of the series. Like I've only played now Gen 1 through 3 and that's it. I have never really, I played some of Platinum, but I need to replay Platinum again.
Yeah, Sword and Shield has DLC, so I guess that counts.
Yeah, that does.
The DLC is nice. It's good. It's kind of funny that that's their post-game stuff is, stuff you can pay extra for.
It's the era we're in now.
I'm on board for Nintendo DLC.
Oh, I am too. And really, it's no different than, it's better than like what they used to do with Pokemon, which is, you played the game, well now play it again slightly differently. So
I'm also on board for that.
Yeah. So I do
miss the third games in series because like they stopped doing that after, because like this gen you had Crystal, next gen is Emerald, and you had Platinum, and then they got rid of it Black and White, which I've never touched Black and White ever before, or X or Y.
Black and White has Black and White too.
Yeah, Black and White has Black and White too. Yeah.
Okay, are those just like sequels to them essentially?
Yeah, they're direct sequels, just like
and they're considered to have the best multiplayer. If you're into that, I'm not. But if you're into the multiplayer side of things, Black and White 2 is widely considered to have like the best. It has the introduced the battle tower thing. I think. Well, I didn't introduce it, but it has like the battle zone. That's what it is. Like a online battling like area and stuff.
Okay.
I have Black 2. I haven't played it, but I played through most of Black and I liked it. I liked it, but I feel like X and Y is better iteration.
One day,
Black and White is great because it has its own. It has a very distinct aesthetic to its designs. It's also French. Got the new 150. So it's all, when you play through it, it's all new. Just like and it does it better than I think Gen 3 did.
Definitely.
Gen 3's Pokemon are a little.
I haven't played the remakes, the Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby yet. Mm-hmm. I have Omega Ruby. I don't know if do they improve upon it very much, because I was not a fan of Sapphire when I played it.
Well, okay, it is what it is, I guess.
It still is what it is.
It is. That's what I was saying. It is the story of Ruby Sapphire in the X and Y engine. So it feels very similar to X and Y. There's the only innovation is the way that it handles fly. There is a semi open world flying.
Oh.
It's kind of it's actually like a progenitor to the taxi system in the later stuff.
I want to try.
I'll definitely check it out. I have it sitting in my 3DS case.
But it's just more Pokemon. At the end of the day, it's just more Pokemon. Like it's still.
That's how I felt about Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, or whatever. Yeah, I got Brilliant Diamond, and I was like, I started playing it, and I was like, this is fine. It's just it doesn't. I never played Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. I was one of the generations I skipped, and so I started playing Brilliant Diamond, and I was like, maybe if I had nostalgia for it, and also the art, the art is fucking atrocious. In the remake is bad. It is like the little people, like the toys. So
that's cool. I definitely want to try those at some point. My goal is to play all the remakes and all the originals, but we'll see how long that takes.
There you go.
That's just a goal. I'm slowly working towards it on this podcast. Are any things that you guys still want to say about Pokemon that we haven't covered yet before we go on to questions for this game?
No, okay. I think we said it.
Right.
I was just going to say, I did think so. I just want to say that criticism is there's certain categories of Pokemon that are just really absent in this game. Like, I don't know. I'm sure there must be electric Pokemon in this game somewhere.
Oh, God, we should talk about that
prior
quickly.
To the Kanto region, but I did not find a single electric Pokemon except for Voltorb and Electrode. Those are the only, what is Magnemite? Magnemite. I found those two. That's it. And then same thing, grass Pokemon. It was Blossom and Weeping, whatever which one turns into Gloom? Is it Blossom that turns into Gloom?
No, it's Oddish.
Oddish, yeah. I found Oddish, Blossom, and then Jumpluff, or whatever Jumpluff came from. And that's it. No other grass Pokemon in the game. No fighting I didn't find a single fighting Pokemon other than ones that trainers had. I'm sure there must have been
They
some.
literally give you a fighting Pokemon.
Who?
A Tyrogue.
I didn't get a Tyrogue.
I didn't get a Tyrogue. Where'd you
The
get Tyro?
second egg?
Oh, I didn't hatch any egg.
Oh, I didn't get the second egg. I forgot about the damn second egg.
The
You're
second
right.
egg is Tyro, who evolves into either Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, or Hitmontop.
Yeah, I forgot about him.
I forgot it. I never went and got the second egg. I got the Togetic and the Togepi. I had the EXP share on him when I beat the Elite Four.
So
how do you get the second egg? Because I hatched the Togepi. Did it go back to New Barktown and
somebody called me on the phone and said, "Hey, I got an egg for you." And I bet
they did, and I ignored it or I forgot about it.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but
that's the only fighting Pokemon you get.
That's literally the only fighting Pokemon in the game until you get to the Kanto region and you can catch Machop. Right.
There's not a fighting. I feel like there's a fighting type that, I mean, maybe I'm thinking of Silver version, that there's a fighting type that you get in the, like, right before the Miltank gym.
You can get Mankey. You can get Mankey and Primate.
I didn't run across that in this game.
Well, they're only in Gold and Silver.
Who's the guy that?
I'm looking at the list of only Gold and Silver. I'm looking at the list of ones that are only in Gold and Silver, and Mankey and Primate are in Gold and Silver.
That's stupid.
Yeah, so that was my kind of thing. Is like there's Mareep and Flaffy and Ampharos. I think you could get Flaffy. I didn't realize Flaffy was electric.
Yeah, so that's what I use normally in this game. I didn't run into him though. Mareep is the first one, I think. Right?
Yeah, Mareep, who evolves into Flaffy. Yeah, I found a Flaffy at some point. I finally, but I didn't even realize it was electric. Honestly, it's just a sheep.
I never got him in this. I didn't see him in this playthrough, but he's my go-to electric because that was one of my issues with this game. I didn't have any electric Pokemon. I never ran into any. So I was just annoyed because I'm like, I need an electric type because that's part of my team was an electric.
Yeah.
I never.
I'm used to having like I do kind of like to have a Pikachu on my team a lot of the time when I play Pokemon games because I was a fan of the anime, so I like having a Pikachu and not evolving it.
They're hard to get in this game, I think, right?
Yeah, I don't even know, but you don't really need an electric though, is the thing because
I just like them.
Yeah, they're useful. I mean, it's useful against water and flying, but anyway, that was my gripe, I guess, is it felt like there's just a ton of normal type in this game, and there's plenty of fire and psychic and water, a lot of psychic and water, a lot of poison type, but like very, very few fighting, electric, or grass type. A lot of rock and ground type, but they're mostly Gen 1 Pokemon.
Yeah.
Or all
rock
Gen 1
and ground
Pokemon
suck.
Yeah, I don't use them. I don't use them either. They're weak to too many things.
Yeah.
So I used the Sand Slash for a while and then I stopped using it. But just because I like sands, I like aesthetically. I also a lot of time I pick Pokemon just because I like the way they look. So Cyndaquil is my favorite Pokemon because I like the way it looks. Sand Slash is one of my favorite Pokemon. I love the spikiness of it.
Sandshrew is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I like a Ninetales for the similar reason. I like the Alolan version of both of those, that they're ice. Okay, sorry. You can. That was it. That was the last thing I wanted to say.
Okay.
Sorry.
Anything, Kendall?
Play Pokemon the right way. Play it while you're watching Yu-Gi-Oh.
Just go back in time.
End of the.
That's
Yu-Gi-Oh's on Hulu.
All right.
I haven't watched. I'm almost finished with the first season.
Then you gotta watch Beyblade. You gotta watch the Beyblade anime.
Yu-Gi-Oh is good, except I like Yu-Gi-Oh up until when they beat Pegasus. That's when I turn off Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't go back, but it takes.
Yeah, the last because there's 10 more episodes. Like what?
But, okay, no, I take that back. I watched Yu-Gi-Oh all the way up to the stuff with the swords and the dragons in like season 4, and that's when I got broken and just stopped watching.
You watch further than I've seen. I haven't finished.
Okay, it's way later on, and I just couldn't take it anymore.
But anyway, like just end of the day, play for half hour, 45 minutes. It's like the most relaxing experience of your life.
Pokemon.
Get off of Twitter and get on Pokemon. That's
or you just play on your phone. You can do both at the same time.
Agreed. I actually deleted TikTok from my phone, and I was like, now I'll have more time to play Pokemon when I'm on my phone instead of TikTok. I did for real. I deleted TikTok off of my phone.
I hate TikTok with a passion.
I did that simultaneously as I started playing this. I was like, I don't even miss TikTok. I've got Pokemon Crystal.
I need to make a TikTok for this show because I think it'd be a great way to advertise this show.
Yeah, it's got a good algorithm.
But I hate it. But that's another thing. I hate it because I'll be talking to my wife and all of a sudden I'll hear some loud thing from TikTok and get irritated. So because she's watching TikTok. But that's a whole other thing. Okay, I didn't get a whole lot of questions, but I got a few. First, I watched the entire Overblood Super Replay from Adam Carr. Do you miss the era of the third definite game that Pokemon will put out? Yellow, Crystal, Emerald, the like? I do, personally.
I think as a parent who has to buy games for a kid, I get maybe having just one per generation. But I thought that was it's, if you're going to go back and replay the old games, that gives you like what's the version to buy, or buy the third version.
Yeah, I think I think it's, I just don't think it's, it's, it's just a Super Street Fighter and all this other, we live in a different world where you can make updates to games, so I don't think it's totally necessary. I do think having some of the stuff is better than other stuff. I think that I think yellow version is an interesting, different interpretation. I think Black and White 2 are interesting in that they're direct sequels.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Crystal, like, you'd have to, I not having just played both Silver and Crystal, like, I couldn't tell you. I know there's something with Suicune, and I know that you can't get Lugia as early, which is actually like a worse thing because Lugia is awesome.
Well, and also there's a move that Lugia only knows in Silver, so there's that. That's really
well,
good.
it's just, but it's just like, that's like nitpick stuff,
right?
But like stuff that I could say, having just played Crystal and having played Silver 5 years ago, like there's something with the legendaries, and that's pretty much the only difference that I could personally point out between the. So yeah, and also I will say I miss the days of the third thing because I was a teenager at the time, and I miss being a teenager.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't.
I think I prefer DLC now, but I will say I think Pokemon Yellow is a special case.
It is. It's
Pokemon
a really good
Yellow
game.
Is just like, it feels like a whole other game.
Yeah.
From Red and Blue. I don't feel like Crystal feels. I've played Silver. I don't feel like Crystal feels that much different from Silver.
It doesn't, and that's what made me sad.
Yeah, but they did add a bunch of stuff. Like, I'm looking at the list of things they changed, and it's actually a ton of stuff, and it's like little tweaks that are like improvements they did to make things
right. It's
easier to do. And that's
close.
It's
more like a patch.
Exactly.
So it's the kind of thing that they would just do now.
Yeah.
Like, people always talk about
it would
how
be a free update.
Yeah, people always talk about how, like, oh, well, it used to be that you'd get a whole game, and now you get part of a game, and then you have to pay for the DLC. But people forget that actually you used to buy a second game that was the same game but had a patch.
Yeah, friend invites you to play Street Fighter 2 at their house. You go to play Street Fighter 2 at your house, and like, where's Fei Long? How do you? Fei Long's my name. You don't have Fei Long?
Yeah. You'd buy 4 different games, each with a little patch to it, and I think that's kind of closer to where Crystal is. There's a couple of storyline things, but also the story isn't super prominent in this. I think the story is even less prominent in this than in just about any other game.
We didn't talk about the rival, by the way. Like,
no, we should.
Did we ever figure out what the deal was with the rival?
I think he's Giovanni's son.
Oh, okay.
That's supposed to be the story, that he's Giovanni's son. Giovanni's an asshole.
But that's not
he runs the crimes.
But that's not established in the game.
It isn't?
No.
Is that
at least not any of the times that I've played any of the
being canon?
Games.
It's possible that someone mentions it randomly at some place. I don't know.
He says something when you beat him near the end, something. But I thought I thought he was the son of Giovanni.
That may very well be a canonical thing, but I don't believe that it is textually
in the game.
In the game, at least. Unless it's just a throwaway comment, but
I can't remember.
Yeah, I thought it looked like I thought he looked like a girl, and I didn't realize it was supposed to be a guy, and I named him Karen. Because he's always like coming in just like bitching at you. So
you're not wrong.
He was actually somewhat legitimate. That's something I miss about the old Pokemon games, is your rival actually being like legitimately somewhat challenging, like at least picking a better, like a type difference that benefits themselves. That's like one of the issues with like the last like 2 or 3 Pokemon games, especially in Sword. Poor Hop. You just feel like you're beating up on a little kid when you fight Hop.
I don't know idea.
He throws out his Wololo against your like Zygarde.
Okay, I looked it up. So canonically, he is Giovanni's kid.
Oh,
Giovanni and Silver's relationship is first alluded to in Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, when Team Rocket scientist Gideon at the Rocket warehouse on Five Island asks Red if he is Giovanni's kid, but concludes that he's not, saying Giovanni's kid has red hair. And then eventually, and then more information is revealed in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, when a fateful encounter Celebi is brought in Lou Forest Shrine and stuff. Anyway,
okay.
So it's established later.
Okay, that makes sense. I just knew it was canon somewhere in my brain. Yeah. I knew it. I don't know why I knew it.
That makes sense. Because it's definitely, I definitely think that a lot of the story elements in this are very sparse. Whereas Gen 1, it's a very clear story. Or at least some of the characters, you know who your rival is. He's Professor Oak's grandson. Giovanni, you fight him 3 times. He's got the bad guys, you know who Team Rocket is and everything. And this is like a little. I love your rival's inferiority complex in this, though, because there's a lot of times where there's a character who you fight over and over again, or just in like pop culture media or whatever. There's like a villain who, because of the episodic nature of the storytelling, loses every day to this freaking, every time he runs into you, he loses. And if he wins, then time reverses and he doesn't remember winning. So he, he just loses over and over again. And everybody else in the world, he kicks their butt and they're all scared of him. But you, for whatever, but in this game, like the last couple times that you see him, he's like, maybe what that guy said before about me not being an asshole to my Pokemon was right. I don't understand. Am I wrong? Am I a bad person? Like he's really, rethinking his life toward the end, and I just love it.
Okay. Well, I have a few more questions, or a few more comments. One from the official Laser Time community. I got from Daniel Peckham. This is kind of where I dropped off the Poke scene until about 3 years ago, where I managed to get Pokemon Moon and a 3DS for a decent price. I really enjoyed the gaming upgrade Gold, Silver, Crystal brought to the table, the day-night cycle, holding items, compartmentalized backpack, etc., and the significant graphical upgrades. I think the best part of the game is the music, how you can listen to different radio stations, and the crossfade when you went from one area to another. Okay. He mentioned things that we had never talked about at all. This is fine. We don't need to. So...
I like Pokemon music, but I was listening to podcasts or watching television while I was playing.
Yeah,
mostly a second screen experience for me.
I like Pokemon music a lot, but in this case, I had the sound turned off because if you don't, when you have it at 5 times speed, you'll go insane.
Terrible. Like, yeah, I'm in time 2 speed, so you can actually listen to it in time 2 speed, and it sounds okay. It doesn't sound terrible.
Yeah, at times 5 speed, it's just chaos. So I have my RetroArch set to mute whenever it's sped up. But yeah, I do like Pokemon music, and I like the music in Crystal. I like the opening theme.
Okay, and then I got from the Game Boy Paradise group, I got a few comments. First from Arjun Sturman. Have you played Gold or Silver? Yes, but it's been God, I haven't played it since I was a kid. And I'm 34 now, so it was back when it came out. And he said it's the same game, 99.9%. And he's not wrong, but for the most part. So, and I got a couple others from George Trimble. Got my first Game Boy in 1991, but totally missed the Pokemon phenomenon. The games are obviously really popular. Could it be something I could get into without having watched the cartoon, collected the cards, etc.? Which game would be the best to start with? Not sure the differences between them.
Ooh, that's a good question.
I'd say Yellow, and you don't need to.
It depends on what you're wanting to get. Yeah, if you've never played a Pokemon game and you're coming at it from 2022, I think the most Sword and Shield are the most accessible, right out the gate. They're the games. Well, I don't know. My son, his first Pokemon was Let's Go Pikachu, and that is very accessible. It's meant for little kids. It doesn't even have random battles. It only has trainer battles. But I think if you want an actual legit Pokemon experience, I think Sword and Shield is the most accessible to a new player. It's not going to have any of those rough edges, like the HMs and stuff. And you're not getting the full experience there, but still, if you want the full experience, XY would be my guess.
I mean, first of all, like if the guy said he been playing Game Boy games since 1991, so it's not like you've never played a game before. I mean, these games are for babies. You can play any of them. The only ones you shouldn't play is Sun and Moon, because those are bad. They have the worst unskippable cut scenes of any game that has ever existed.
Okay, no, that's true.
Like the tutorial in Sun and Moon is horrible. They tell you that you're the best person in the world because you can kill a rat-a-tat. Like, it's the most insufferable, horrible thing.
I love Sun and Moon, but I forgot about that 30-minute unskippable intro before you can even save the game.
It's just like every I don't know. It's just like that was the first one that really embraced cutscenes, and and then also that one was the one that I felt doesn't respect the player. It infantilizes the dialogue, infantilizes you even more so than other games, and just like getting rid of the gym battles. Like, you need gym battles.
So you're telling me if I ever do Sun and Moon, don't reach out to you?
Yeah, I think
I won't. Yeah, no, I wouldn't volunteer to be on that.
I know. I would do Sun, because I enjoy Sun and Moon, but I agree it is very different than the other games. That's true.
And honestly, if you haven't played any of the other Pokemon games, you could even play Sun and Moon, because it's still Pokemon, so it's probably still a 7 out of 10. Like,
yeah,
they're all great.
Just like Return to Jedi is your least favorite.
What about Fire Red?
Right, I would say that Sun and Moon are the Return of the Jedi of Pokemon games. I would agree with that. Yes.
What about Fire Red, Leaf Green? I think that's a good. You're getting the old school Pokemon.
I like them a lot
with a lot of the edges filed off. Because no, you're right. Red and Blue is easy, but it can be it might be a little tedious if you don't have the nostalgia.
Right. I mean, if you have, I guess the question is, have you played Final Fantasy 1?
Yes.
Have you played Dragon Warrior? You know, if you're a retro gamer and you've played those games, then the Game Boy Pokemon games are going to be right up your alley. They are an evolution of that style of gameplay. If you want something else, the further you go, the closer you get to the modern games. It's gonna deviate from that while still having JRPG elements. But honestly, you just can't go wrong.
I really feel like the ones that I wouldn't say to play first are Gen 3, honestly. But otherwise, I think you could. You're right.
But there's a whole generation of elder Zoomers that was their first game and just love it. I just don't think you can. Of course, I love that you say don't choose Gen 3, and you also suggested a Gen 3 game.
Well, Emerald's a lot different, but yeah, you are.
Oh, I don't consider Fire Red to be Gen 3. It's a remake of Gen 1. It's
the engine of Gen 3.
It's the engine of Gen 3, but it just doesn't have surfing. It doesn't have the beauty pageant bullshit. It doesn't have the terrible starters. Like, I mean, I see what you're saying. It's technically
it doesn't have the surfing. The surfing, the ridiculous amount of surfing is Gen 3.
Yes, it
has the Gen 1 Pokemon, which are all iconic. I would say, I don't know. I mean, you just can't do whatever. The other problem with Gen 3 is that there's no legitimate way to play it. If you're not an emulator person, if you buy the original hardware, the batteries will be dead.
Not necessarily. It depends on how much they were used. I mean, I hear you. I've got a copy of Emerald that the batteries were still working in a couple of years ago, but I see what you're saying.
So it's but it's very difficult. But then you would also have to have a Game Boy Advance, which is a little but Gen 1 and Gen 2 are available on the 3DS Virtual Console, and then Gen 4 is playable on a 3DS. And Gen 4 on is playable on a 3DS, so you can either buy the cartridges, and then I think starting at X and Y, the X and Y and Sun Moon should be also available on the eShop as digital downloads.
They are.
And then obviously the Switch games are available for Switch. So the biggest thing for me is that Gen 3 is probably going to be the hardest one if you don't want to use an emulator.
Well, what about the remakes. You could
they're not the same.
I would not. I would probably not start with any of the remakes, but you can if you want to.
Well, I think
if you find one on the ground.
I will say that Fire. Even though I got Red and Blue when they came out, Fire Red is actually the first time I beat one.
Fire Red's really good.
Actually finished it.
But it's very. I just want to emphasize it's very important that these games are for 6-year-olds. Every single game starts out by explaining what a Pokemon is. There is a guy that you can't skip that tells you how to catch a Pokemon. Every single game is designed to be someone's first game, not just first Pokemon game, first game. Video game that they consciously have chosen to play.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And that's very important because this is not Xenoblade X2 Chronicles times 3. Like this is not like you're not going to have to if you jump into Gen 6. You didn't have to see the first 20 Marvel Cinematic movies to play X and Y. Like
true.
There's
no play any of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's more like it's closer to Power Rangers than it is to other stuff. You can jump in at any generation. It's going to be the same formula. It's just a matter of do you like playing Game Boy games or Game Boy Advance games or DS games or 3DS games or a modern game. So it's just
if you like Breath of the Wild, then just play Arceus. So there you go.
Right. Or if you want to, or play another thing, or if you like, or play Pokemon trading cards. Who cares? Yeah. They're all good. Everything.
Play the mystery dungeon games if you like.
I've never played those.
Yeah, mystery dungeon games are like tactical RPGs, right?
Yeah, they are. I haven't played any of the Pokemon ones, but I played the remake of the game that started the genre. The It's a spin-off of Dragon Quest 4. Yeah. So
if you like soccer, play Sword and Shield.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. I like the arena. I like the stadium battling. I thought that was a neat touch.
I mean, it's just a matter of it. Yeah, but you can really dive into it. Like it is the most accessible. It is the most accessible video games ever.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of what style you're looking for.
Okay, and I think that should bring us to Shelf Stacker Box. And Kendall, why don't you go first?
So I introduced another element to the Shelf Stacker Box. I think one of the last times I was that I was here, and that is console.
Oh, okay, sure. We'll go with
this. Is a game. This is a game that lives on my console. Like this is if I had a. Well, actually, no. It's shelf. I gotta admit, if I had a Game Boy Color, then red version would be what was sitting in the console itself. Because the last time I was on was Emerald, and I think that I said that would be Pokemon Emerald if I had a Game Boy Advance would just live in my cart.
Well, you got to be like me. I got Pokemon Red, Crystal, Gold.
Well,
Silver,
I'm saying like. Yeah, but you don't have it in a shelf or a box either.
No, I have it in a pocket, in a phone.
But I would say, shelf for this is the shelf. This is something that I'm coming back to over and over again. I mean, I played through Crystal multiple times. I played through Silver multiple times. I may have played through Gold. I don't think I have Gold on my 3DS, but Pokemon Gen 2 is like one of the most replayable games of all time.
Okay.
It is one of the best video games of all time. It is probably it's hard because like, if I did a top 15 video games, there would be 10 of them would be Pokemon games.
I can do that.
So, it's hard to, I don't know how it would work on a list or whatever, but Gen 2 is one of the 7 best generations.
Okay.
In all of Pokemon.
All right, I'll take it. And Kerry, what about you?
Stack, I enjoyed it. Definitely wouldn't throw it out. But now that I would also say it's probably in my top 5 favorite Pokemon games. But now that I've like beaten it and like beat Red, like the trainer Red, I feel like all right, I could always continue to play it, and try to get more of the legendaries and stuff. But I really feel like I've gotten everything I want to get out of this game, and I can't see coming back to it until I've beaten every other Pokemon game first. So
Okay.
Yeah. I think that for me, like I don't know about right now because I just was playing through it. I also was just on a Pokemon episode a few months ago, and I said I was going to keep playing it. I didn't, but I blame that more on the fact that I was playing on an emulator, and I was like, it was like I had to sit down at my computer to play it, and I don't like sitting there. But this is like alternative. This is the polar opposite of that. I have it next to my recliner, always plugged in, and I can just pick it up at any time and play for 5 minutes. So I mark my words. The next time I'm on here, when we talk about X and Y, I will have beaten Crystal all the way through.
Okay. It'll be a very long time before I cover X and Y.
If it had been a year since I had played Pokemon, and you said would you like to play a Pokemon game? What Pokemon game would you play? There's a 50-50 chance that I would choose Gen 1 or Gen 2 for a second playthrough. And so So it's definitely in the top 2 of games that I would play, that's for replayability for Pokemon games. Because I think some of the later games just don't lend themselves to replays as much because they're denser.
Yeah, they're different.
The story's bigger. It's more like,
takes longer. Too.
It's more like watching some of those other games it's more like a TV show that you're not going to rewatch over and over again. Whereas this is like one of your favorite movies from childhood.
Okay, I'll buy it. All right, and then I'll go last. I'm also going to put this in the stack. I have no desire to replay this. I'm glad I finally did it, and I can finally now say I played Crystal, but I got bored. I mean, I did play a lot, but I was bored for a while. It wasn't really for me. But I didn't have fun at times. I just got tired of it. It went too long. I didn't need Kanto. I could have done without Kanto, been done BD Elite 4. I did enough. Boom, game over. But I'm glad it exists. I'm glad we played it, and I'm good. Achievement achieved. I did what I wanted to do for the last 20 years, so I did it. So I'm happy.
There you go.
I also want to reiterate what I said about the last Pokemon game, is that playing a Pokemon game so that you can review it for a podcast is the wrong way to do it.
Agreed.
It
won't stop me. Agreed.
I mean, it's a necessary evil. I have a whole podcast network devoted to media criticism, and a lot of times watching a thing just so you can review it or consuming a thing just so you can review it is the wrong way to approach it. But I think Pokemon games specifically, because it is about what makes them so great is the fact that you can just kind of keep going back to them forever. Whether it's playing through the storyline again, or whether it's trying to complete a Pokedex, or whether it's just trying to get that one Pokemon to level 100. It's about just kind of playing around, playing in that sandbox for
I think a lot
20,
of the
30, 40, 50 hours.
Old RPGs are really good for that too. Like Final Fantasy 1 is a game that I can go back and replay but I'm not I 100%ed Final Fantasy 12, and I'm never going to touch that game again, ever. There's no way I would ever. And right now I'm playing Persona 4, and I love it. I love it so much. Never going to play it again after I beat it, ever. Never, ever. But Pokemon games or really old JRPGs, Final Fantasy 4, Final Fantasy 6, those are games I can play over and over again. I think there's just something about it where it's just dense enough.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now, I will say, because I'm somebody who specifically Final Fantasy I struggle with, because on paper the Final Fantasy game, those classic Final Fantasy games should work for me because they were Pokemon games. Also, if Pokemon are the only JRPGs that you've ever played, know that other JRPGs exist, because I didn't realize that it was a genre. I thought that only the Pokemon were the only ones that existed. I didn't know that Pokemon and Final Fantasy were the same thing. So know that, first of all. But even I know that Mike enjoys this game called Chrono Trigger.
A little bit, yes.
And one or two people else in the world may have heard of it. I could not get through Chrono Trigger because Chrono Trigger
18 times.
Chrono Trigger, if you've never played it before and you're not using a guide, but even if you are using a guide, it has this thing that a lot of old JRPGs have where you have to talk to every single person until you find the person who moves the plot forward. And I feel like these classic Pokemon games do that way less. than other games of the era.
Yeah.
Like because the reason I bounced off of Chrono Trigger was that happened to me 6 or 7 times in a row. And I was just like, I don't even feel like I'm playing this game. I just have to look up the answer every time. Like there's no puzzle element to it. It's just talk. It's just a system of elimination.
I'm going to assume it's the beer talking, making you say crazy things like this.
I see what you're saying. I definitely see what you're saying, and that is true for a lot of games. For Chrono Trigger, I played it when it came out before,
right?
Like when the internet was just like a thing that you sometimes accessed at school, but it wasn't something we had at home. Yeah. And I didn't have a guide, and I never had that experience with it. I do have that experience with some JRPGs, including
you also probably played Chrono Trigger for 6 months.
Oh,
trying to get through it.
Hundreds of hours.
Yeah.
Well, no, I got through it pretty easy the first time. It was my big thing was trying to get every possible ending to it. As a kid.
Or you may have just been better at finding the right person to talk to than me.
Well, you get stuck. You're right. In this game, I actually got stuck in this game with that. I had to look up who to talk to at one point where the gym leader isn't where they're supposed to be, and you have to figure it out.
The lighthouse?
Yeah, the lighthouse.
Yeah, I got confused. I don't mind looking it up. I don't mind looking up one time, but it was just
right.
It was just one time after another. And I feel like most Pokemon games, kind of going back to that guy that has been playing since 1991 but hasn't played Pokemon. I feel like most Pokemon,
I think he was saying he got a Game Boy in 91. I don't know if he was saying he's been playing it this whole time.
I think he wakes up every day. He puts in Donkey Kong 94, plays it for 20 minutes, and then occasionally plays Super Mario Land. Which, by the way, Super Mario Land, pretty good game.
Excellent game. And Donkey Kong 94, excellent game.
Yeah. Anyway, but I just feel like it's a little less. It's a little less than a lot of those, because a lot of times there are. I talk about not ever having to double back, but there are usually trainers to go fight, or there's Pokemon to find, or there's something else to do, even if you are trying to figure out what the next plot point thing is. There's stuff to do in the town. Almost everybody, you're not talking to somebody who says he got an arrow to the knee. Like most of the time, people are either telling you something that is useful to know about Pokemon. Like they're like, did you know that flying types are good against ground types? Maybe it's obvious or whatever. Or they're like, do you want to trade me your Onyx so you can make it into a Steelix? Or they're like, here's an item. And it's, I don't know, it just seems a lot more efficiently designed than some of those. And I'm by no means a JRPG expert, because like I said,
for
20 years, I thought Pokemon were the only JRPGs.
All right, we should wrap this up. I need to. Kendall, where can people find you at?
KendallCast.ninja. I do a bunch of podcasts. The most you can listen to the archive of Beyond Bulbasaur. Every episode we talked about a random Pokemon. There's 37 episodes of that. Like I said, maybe I'll bring it back. I don't know. But I've got the movie roundtable, where every month we talk about a different movie. We got That's What We Called Music, a song by song review of the Now That's What I Call Music catalog, and also some other stuff. Check us out, KendallCast.ninja, or the podcatcher of your choice. I drank half a bottle of whiskey during this recording. That's all.
You'll see a link in the show notes to his podcast too, so you can find it that way. Oh, I see you have 2 movies I need to go listen to. Okay, that's what I'll be doing this week. All right, and Kerry, where can people find you at?
Hey, I'm on Twitch, Karoseta, Kerooseta. I play a lot of Dark Souls and other games, but mostly Dark Souls games on there. And I also repair and modify retro video game consoles, mostly Game Boys and Game Boy Advances and things of that nature. Occasionally some other stuff. Haven't done a lot of the latter lately, just because my workshop is outside and I live in Texas, so it's 110 degrees in there. But it's starting to cool down, maybe, so I'll get back to the modding here pretty soon.
God, as soon as I can emulate Dark Souls, once I ever try to emulate PS3, it's ending up on the show. I just have to be able to cheat.
100%. I'm getting ready to replay it.
And play it on the Donkey Kongos.
I actually have some. If you can, you probably see them in the corner in the top left. I have some. I have only one. I had 2 pairs. I threw away one when I moved years ago, and I regret it. But that's the whole.
Well, hit me up for the Dark Souls because that's after Zelda. My favorite series is Zelda, and my second favorite series is Dark Souls. So hit me up when you do the Dark Souls.
I will, for sure. And if you enjoyed this episode, there are over 350 other episodes that we've done on this podcast about all sorts of content. We do movies, comics. We do all sorts of crap. I'm just going to say that. We do have a Discord now, so please join our Discord. You can talk to us, and I would love that because we need more people to do that. We're also going to take questions in Discord too, but nobody commented because there's not a lot of people in the Discord. If you want to hear more Pokemon episodes, we did Pokemon Emerald, episode 154, Pokemon Snap, episode 83, Pokemon Trading Card Game, episode 15, and for some reason, Fire Red is not coming up when I search Pokemon. That's because I spelled it differently. And Fire Red, Leaf Green, episode 104. So that's all. We haven't done a lot of Pokemon yet on this show. So we've done that. Go check all those out. We have a Patreon, the littlest dollar. You can vote in our Patreon polls each month. We have a different poll right now. It's a horror poll. It's by the time you're here, it's almost the end of the month, so I'm not going to bother. But hey, go check it out. Littlest dollar. You can vote. And then we also have, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro, courtesy of Helena at Hell Has Free. You can follow her on TikTok. She makes videos, so Kerry can read and follow us TikTok. And don't do that. TikTok's terrible. And I also want to give a shout out to Bill Tucker, who started his own podcast, who did all the MCU movie roundup with me, which I can't seem to want to get myself to continue that into phase 4. That's another thing. But he started his own podcast, Gamer Looks at 40. Definitely go check him out. I think that's everything. Yeah, that's everything I need to say. I'm tired. All right, you guys have a wonderful night. We will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.